I am here with Nanci Weissgold, who is partner and co-chair of Alston Bird's Financial Services Committee. Welcome.
Thank you.
And before I get into you being our new MORPAC Chair, tell me a little bit about your career and how you became a partner at such a prestigious law firm.
So it has been a journey, let's just say that. So I started out in mortgage banking, working for a small to mid-size firm in DC in their mortgage banking group. And that group moved to a larger firm. And fortunate enough that as a junior associate took me with them. I stayed there for 20 years and I was able to balance work and family, which had its challenges at times. This is before BlackBerry, before remote access. Had to take myself off partner track to do so. So I would say a slow starter. But then after that time, I had the opportunity to move to Alston Bird, which had a small consumer finance practice group that wanted to grow it. And it was such a great fit for me and my entrepreneurial spirit and letting me kind of put my thumb on the scale and continue to grow the financial services team to the point now where I co-chair the firm's financial services practice group, which is consumer financial services, payments, and banking M&A team.
Lots of responsibility.
Yes.
And you've added to that responsibility, first of all, on behalf of MBA and our members. Thank you for stepping up to be our MORPAC Chair.
Oh, thank you for asking me.
We run a PAC in order to make sure our influence in DC remains strong and vibrant, bipartisan. And so the question I want to ask you, because it's very different from being a lawyer, is you're now in a position at MBA where you are influencing folks to ask for their contributions. So basically in sales, asking people for money. How did you get comfortable with making the ask?
So, I think of it as the same way as I do in my role as a law firm partner. And when I first made partner, I realized that I had to bring in business, and I had absolutely no idea how to do so. But I was very good at research, I still am. So I went to the managing partner of my firm and I said, I know I have to bring in business, I don't know how to do it, but I found a career coach that is going to help me. Would you support that? And they did. And they helped me shift my mindset of you're not selling something, which I found very distasteful, but you're trying to help people solve their problems. And I take that same view as in my role as chair of MORPAC. I'm not asking people just to give money. I'm trying to help recognize that our industry, we have big issues that we want to solve. It's important to all of us because it is our industry, and make the case of why they should support it.
That's great, really switching the mindset so that you look at it that you're asking someone to join you in helping the industry.
Right.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and it's collective, something that we need to do because the industry has given so much to all of us, right? And I think we all have that collective view of we want to make it better. And the lawmakers are being torn in a million directions. They have so many other priorities. How do we have our advocates that are helping in a succinct way, making sure that our positions are known and get their support?
You're going to be very successful.
Oh, thank you.
Can you, for people who are watching and thinking, well, for the next 2 years, we're all Republican, right? White House, Senate, and House. What is important during this election cycle? Why should people contribute and spend time listening to all of the things on our docket to get passed?
Right. Well, there's still, for these 2 years, right, we're in a Republican controlled, but 2 years is a pretty short period of time. And people have to remember that you can't ask for a favor and expect to receive it without building up those relationships. So the MBA and staff really understand the importance of building those relationships with who are key decision makers today, who we expect to be in 2 years, and building up those relationships so we have kind of those chips for when we really need them. So you can't just, turn on a dime and say, okay, I need something, who do I ask? It's just not how it works in the city.
Right, right. And you have been very active with MBA, so thank you so much for your engagement and all that you do. When you look at young professionals coming into the industry, when you think about how you started in the industry, how important is it for people to get involved with a trade association like MBA?
Oh, I think it's hugely important, and I am just so thankful for the MBA for all the opportunities that they have given me in my career. And that, I always thought of MBA, and I think a lot of people think of it this way, and I'm not sure it's 100% accurate, is a trade organization that puts on conferences and events. And it is, we do that, and we do it really well. And that has been hugely important because it's given me recognition and so many opportunities to speak at conferences and at panels. But the other side of the MBA is equally important and is what we do for advocacy. And I don't know if people recognize the importance of that piece of it as well. So there's the networking element of it, but there's also the advocacy. And I encourage people to do both.
Mm-hmm. That's smart, because advocacy is key to keeping so many of our members profitable in business and really clearing the way so we can serve as many potential homeowners and take care of renters across the nation.
Absolutely. And if you think about the housing, it's $1 trillion industry, and it's roughly 15 to 18% of GDP. So it is hugely important to the U.S. economy, as well as the financial markets of all the consumer debt. Mortgages is 70% of consumer debt. So, we need to have a voice.
Mm-hmm. One last question for you about yourself. Can you tell me a moment in your career that was pivotal and you wouldn't be in the same place now if you had not seized that moment?
Yeah, so I would say when I was looking to make a move, I'm always the type of person who likes to seek advice from different people because, I want to make sure that I'm not thinking of things the wrong way. And I reached out to a former client of mine who had retired, and to sought her advice on career advice. And she said to me, Nanci, you should determine what your value is every 5 years. So you are long overdue.
Oh, that is good advice.
Yes. And so anyway, and that was put me in touch with a recruiter who was Jane Roberts, who's Chief Justice John Roberts' wife, who thought Alston Bird would be a good firm for me.
And it worked out well.
And it worked out very well. So yes.
Well, thank you for being with us. Thank you for all you do for MBA.
Oh, and thank you for all you do for mPower. I just have to say that it is so wonderful to support other women, and I feel strongly about that, and I would like to pay forward to help as many other women as I can.
Well, thank you. We're going to take you up on that.
All right. Thank you.